I'm Adam Berry, and we're talking about Chapter 2 of Music Lessons by Pierre Boulez. In this chapter, we are once again presented with a dichotomy. In Chapter 1, that dichotomy was between the materials, the instruments, and invention, notes on the page. In this chapter, the dichotomy is between the old and the new, stasis and innovation. When new ideas threaten to displace old ideas, some people's natural tendency is to retreat to the past, rejecting innovation in favor of what is known and familiar. Musical life thus assumes the character of a museum, with its almost obsessive concern with reconstructing the conditions of the past as faithfully as possible. In this way, the more conservative factions may double down on historicism. Take, for example, a Bach performance using instruments from the 1700s, performance practices from the 1700s. It does sound novel, but it's not new, and it doesn't move the ball any further down the field. This phenomenon of historicism reveals the dangers courted by a culture that so openly admits its weakness. It spends its time not creating models or destroying them to allow new ones to grow out of them, but rather reconstructing and venerating them like totems, emblems of a long-gone golden age. This is essentially the everything was better in the past delusion. Among the consequences of this culture of historicism has been an almost complete cessation in the evolution of musical material. Boulez was advocating for a push into new creative territories without abandoning the musical heritage of the past. For both social and economic reasons, the development of instruments has suffered a fatal stall. The major channels of musical consumption almost exclusively promote works from the past. The majority of music performed in modern concert halls is from a long time ago. The training that young musicians receive at universities, they're often focusing on music that was written 200 years ago. And if you think about musical instruments, the standard symphonic musical instruments, they haven't changed in any significant way for 150 years. Boulez believed that this past-focused orientation was paralyzing the evolution of musical material. He saw two paths forward. One of the diverging paths leads in the direction of conservative historicism, which restricts or perhaps completely blocks invention by failing to provide it with the new material it needs to express or renew itself. On the other path, we find futurist technology, whose powers of expression and evolution are harnessed to enable musical materials to proliferate, whether or not in accordance with musical thought. Of these two paths, it's very clear which one Boulez would prefer, but he had some reservations. Composers and the innovators of this technology, the people making synthesizers and computers, were out of alignment. Consequently, the composers would come in contact with these new instruments, they would accept their limitations, and then those limitations would be incorporated into the compositions. So Boulez felt that it was essential for the innovators and the composers to come together and discuss the way to move forward in the most productive fashion. Boulez illustrates this fundamental idea of reciprocal progress with examples of engineers and architects. Just as materials like steel and tempered glass expanded architectural possibilities, new sound technologies could open up unexplored avenues in music. With respect both to material and to method, there must be a continual flow between modes of thought and types of action, a constant exchange between what is received and what is given. From this permanent dialogue, in all probability, will emerge our future experience. Boulez recognized that in order for music to reach its full potential, composers would need to keep the best discoveries from the past while simultaneously allowing modern music to incorporate the new ideas and the innovations of the future. In light of all this, let's answer Boulez's question. Was music simply muddling through the process of its own evolution? No, because Boulez would not allow it. I'm Adam Berry. Thanks for watching. More chapter breakdowns coming soon, plus composing lessons and some scoring tips. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.